Over missiles, down goes Gilmore! And this one is over! Gervonta Davis!
Gervonta Tank Davis is a force to be reckoned with in the boxing world, and it's just his KO ratio that has people talking. Despite standing at just 5 feet 5.5 inches, Davis has consistently used his height as an advantage, proving that size doesn't dictate power in the ring. Known for his explosive, heavy-handed punches, particularly his devastating uppercuts.
The body of Davis. Big shot, down goes Barrios on a big shot to the body!
Davis has built a reputation for being a compact wrecking ball. His power is something that makes his opponents think twice before engaging, often forcing them to fight cautiously from the first bell. One of the key reasons for his knockout success is Davis's ability to sit on his punches, maximizing the force behind every shot. His compact frame enables him to generate tremendous torque, particularly in his signature uppercuts, which he throws with both precision and intent. When Davis steps into the ring, it's not just about winning. It's about breaking down his opponents. Before he became a knockout sensation, Davis's story started in the rough neighborhoods of Baltimore, where boxing offered an escape from the dangers of the streets. Introduced to the sport at just 5 years old, Davis found his second home in the gym under the guidance of Calvin Ford, who became not only his coach, but also a father figure. Ford recognized Davis's potential early on, nurturing his natural talent and turning him into a disciplined fighter with a sharp eye for defense and precision striking. Davis was a standout, even as a young fighter. He had an unusual combination of speed, power, and a street-smart fighting instinct. As an amateur, he won 3 straight junior national championships and claimed victory at the prestigious Golden Gloves at just 17 years old, proving that he wasn't just a local talent, but a national one to watch. His amateur record of 205 wins and only 15 losses speaks to his dominance in the ring, even before turning professional. After turning pro at just 18, Gervonta Davis was already steamrolling through local opponents, racking up knockout after knockout. Despite his early success, he remained relatively unknown outside of his hometown. That changed when Floyd Mayweather Jr. saw him in action during a sparring session. Mayweather, always on the lookout for future stars, saw something special in the young southpaw and immediately took him under his wing. Gervonta Davis faced a real test when he stepped into the ring against Luis Sanchez, a tough and experienced fighter with a 17-4 record. Sanchez wasn't there to be another easy win. He had a reputation for weathering storms and giving as good as he got. From the start, Sanchez stood his ground, delivering sharp counters and making Davis think twice before charging in. Davis took his time, staying patient in the early rounds. He carefully watched Sanchez's movements, looking for openings while keeping his own defense tight. The tension in the arena built as Davis stayed calculated, waiting for the right moment to unleash his power. By the middle of the fight, Davis started to take control. He began landing hard shots, targeting Sanchez's body and setting him up for the big blows. By the 8th round, Davis had found his rhythm and opened up with a barrage of punches. His signature uppercuts landed cleanly, and one vicious left uppercut in particular sent Sanchez crashing to the canvas.
That's why. Lightning quick power! Sanchez flat on his face, and that's it. Katie Bayless has seen enough. Did you see that, ladies and gentlemen?
Who needs a jab?
The knockout was decisive. Gervonta Davis showed his ability to not only hang with more experienced fighters, but also to dominate them when the time was right. After the Luis Sanchez fight, Gervonta Davis quickly got back into the ring to face Guillermo Avila, a durable Mexican fighter known for his grit. This fight was a crucial step in Davis's career, as it was a chance to showcase his evolving skills against a tough opponent who had the ability to take punishment and fight back. Avila came out aggressive, pressuring Davis from the opening bell. Davis, though, was calm and composed, using his head movement to evade Avila's wild punches while landing sharp counters. He played a waiting game, staying patient as Avila tried to force the pace. But Davis, with his growing experience, had learned to manage these situations. He wasn't going to get dragged into a brawl. By the third round, Davis started to impose his will. He landed crisp left straights and powerful body shots, making Avila think twice about rushing in. Avila, stubborn as ever, kept coming forward, but Davis had him figured out. Each time Avila stepped in, Davis would meet him with a perfectly timed counter. The uppercut, a signature punch for Davis, found its mark over and over again. In the fourth round, Davis upped the pressure. He wasn't just picking Avila apart, he was systematically breaking him down. By now, Avila's face showed the signs of Davis's relentless attack, and his movement began to slow. Davis sensed his moment. A series of punishing combinations to the body and head had Avila wobbling on his feet. Just before the fifth round ended, Davis landed a brutal left hook, sending Avila to the canvas. Avila tried to stand, but his legs gave out. The referee waved it off, giving Davis another knockout victory.
Gervonta Davis bounces up and down on the ropes and scores his sixth straight knockout.
In January 2017, Davis earned his first world title shot against the undefeated Jose Pedraza, the IBF super featherweight champion. This fight was Davis's biggest opportunity yet, and he knew it was time to prove he belonged among the elite. Pedraza, with 22 wins and no losses, was a formidable champion, known for his slick boxing and ability to adjust mid-fight. Many viewed this as Davis's toughest test to date, but Davis came into the fight with an unwavering confidence. From the opening bell, Davis showed no signs of intimidation. He attacked Pedraza's body early, landing hard left hands to the ribs. Pedraza, trying to figure Davis out, worked behind his jab, but Davis kept the pressure on. The Baltimore fighter was relentless, walking Pedraza down and forcing him into uncomfortable exchanges. The body shots were beginning to wear Pedraza down, and by the third round, Davis had established control. By the sixth round, the fight was all Davis. His power shots were landing with devastating effect, and Pedraza's body language showed the toll it was taking. Davis kept marching forward, cutting off the ring and trapping Pedraza against the ropes. Pedraza, trying to survive, fired back in spurts, but couldn't deter Davis's attack. In the seventh round, Davis sensed the end was near. He unleashed a barrage of punches, and a perfectly placed right hook caught Pedraza flush, sending him crashing to the canvas. The referee stepped in and stopped the fight, making Gervonta Davis the new IBF super featherweight champion at just 22 years old. After his victory over Jose Pedraza, Gervonta Davis quickly rose to stardom, but with the fame came some challenges. In his next fight, Davis faced Francisco Fonseca, an undefeated Costa Rican fighter with a tough reputation. This fight took place on the undercard of Floyd Mayweather's highly anticipated match against Conor McGregor, which put even more pressure on Davis to perform. However, things didn't start off perfectly for Davis. He missed weight during the weigh-in and lost his IBF title on the scales, meaning that even if he won the fight, he wouldn't leave with the belt. This cast a shadow over the fight, but Davis was determined to show the world that his performance in the ring wouldn't be affected. Fonseca came into the fight as the underdog, but showed early on that he wasn't going to be a pushover. He used his height and reach to keep Davis at bay, throwing jabs and combinations that forced Davis to work harder than usual. But as the fight progressed, Davis's power began to show.
There's a right hook to the body by Davis. Left.
Ivan Calderon.
Nice right hook.
Never is at this level, right?
By the middle rounds, Davis was landing his trademark power shots, hooks to the body and head that gradually slowed Fonseca down. Fonseca was tough, though, and despite the punishment, he kept fighting back. Davis, feeling the pressure of performing on such a big stage, started to showboat, dropping his hands and taunting Fonseca. But Fonseca wasn't backing down, and Davis had to stay sharp. In the eighth round, Davis landed a thunderous left hook that sent Fonseca stumbling to the ropes. Fonseca fell to the canvas, but the finish was controversial. Many felt that Fonseca was hit in the back of the head during the final exchange. Fonseca protested the stoppage, but the referee had already called it. Davis had secured another knockout victory, But it wasn't without its drama. In April 2018, Gervonta Davis moved up in weight to challenge for the vacant WBA super featherweight title, taking on former world champion Jesus Cuellar. Cuellar was a tough, experienced fighter known for his aggressive style and power, and many expected this to be a hard-fought battle. Davis, however, had other plans. From the opening bell, Davis was in control. He used his superior speed and footwork to keep Cuellar off balance, landing sharp jabs and quick combinations to the head and body. Cuellar, a naturally aggressive fighter, tried to press forward, but every time he did, Davis made him pay with powerful counters. In the second round, Davis dropped Cuellar with a brutal left hook to the body. Cuellar got up, but it was clear he was hurt. Davis stayed on the attack, landing more body shots and uppercuts that had Cuellar in survival mode. Then, in the third round, Davis landed another vicious body shot, dropping Cuellar for the second time. The referee had seen enough and waved the fight off, giving Davis his second world title in as many weight classes.
The future is absolutely so bright for the Baltimore favorite.
In July 2019, Gervonta Davis returned to his hometown of Baltimore to defend his WBA super featherweight title against Ricardo Núñez, a hard-hitting Panamanian with a reputation for knockouts. Fighting in front of a packed crowd, Davis was determined to put on a show, and he didn't disappoint. From the start, Núñez tried to make things uncomfortable for Davis by pressing forward and throwing heavy shots. Núñez had power and hoped to catch Davis with something big early on, but Davis remained calm, using his defensive skills to avoid Núñez's wild punches. He moved around the ring, staying out of harm's way while looking for opportunities to counter. It didn't take long for Davis to find his rhythm. In the second round, after feeling out Núñez in the first, Davis began to let his hands go. He landed a series of clean, powerful shots that staggered Núñez. Sensing that Núñez was hurt, Davis pounced, unloading a flurry of punches that forced Núñez to the ropes. With Núñez unable to defend himself, the referee stepped in to stop the fight, handing Davis a second-round TKO victory. The hometown crowd erupted as Davis celebrated with his team. It was a dominant performance from the champion, who had once again showcased his incredible power and finishing ability. In December 2019, Gervonta Davis moved up to the lightweight division for the first time, challenging veteran Yuriorkis Gamboa for the vacant WBA lightweight title. Gamboa, a former Olympic gold medalist and world champion, was by far the most experienced and accomplished opponent Davis had faced up to that point. Many expected the fight to be a tough test for Davis. From the outset, it was clear that Gamboa's experience would pose a challenge. The Cuban veteran was crafty, using his footwork and timing to frustrate Davis in the early rounds. However, Davis stayed patient, knowing that his power would eventually break through. By the second round, Davis had already landed some solid shots, and in the third, he dropped Gamboa with a sharp left hand. Gamboa got back to his feet, but it was clear that Davis had the power advantage. Gamboa fought valiantly, even continuing after suffering a torn Achilles tendon in the second round. But Davis's relentless attack was taking its toll. As the fight wore on, Davis continued to land heavy shots to both the head and body, slowly breaking Gamboa down. Gamboa, to his credit, showed incredible toughness, surviving multiple knockdowns and continuing to fight despite his injury. But by the 12th round, Davis had had enough. In the final round, Davis landed a devastating combination that sent Gamboa crashing to the canvas for the third and final time. The referee waved the fight off, and Davis claimed a knockout victory in his first fight at lightweight, becoming a two-weight world champion in the process.
This Tank has become a two-division world champion.
In June 2021, Gervonta Davis took on the biggest challenge of his career, both literally and figuratively, when he moved up to super lightweight to fight Mario Barrios for the WBA regular title. Barrios, an undefeated champion at 140 pounds, towered over Davis, and many questioned whether Davis's power would carry up to a higher weight class. From the opening bell, Barrios used his height and reach advantage to keep Davis at bay. He jabbed effectively and managed to land several clean shots on Davis, forcing him to respect Barrios's power. But Davis wasn't deterred. He bided his time, using head movement and footwork to slip past Barrios' punches and land his own counters. As the fight progressed, Davis began to find his range. By the middle rounds, he was landing clean left hands and body shots that visibly hurt Barrios. In the 8th round, Davis's power proved to be the difference. A brutal left uppercut sent Barrios to the canvas for the first time in his career. Barrios got up, but moments later, a left hook put him down again. Despite the 2 knockdowns, Barrios showed incredible heart and fought on, even managing to win some exchanges in the later rounds. But in the 11th round, Davis sealed the victory with a body shot that forced Barrios to take a knee. The referee waved the fight off, and Davis claimed the WBA super lightweight title, becoming a 3-division world champion. In December 2021, Gervonta Davis faced one of his toughest challenges yet in Isaac Cruz, a hard-hitting Mexican fighter known for his relentless pressure. Dubbed the Mexican Mike Tyson, Cruz came into the fight as a massive underdog, but he quickly proved why he belonged in the ring with Davis. From the opening bell, Cruz pushed forward aggressively, cutting off the ring and forcing Davis to fight off the back foot. Cruz landed several hard shots early, but Davis stayed calm, using his slick defense and counterpunching skills to keep the challenger at bay. Despite his height and reach disadvantage, Cruz managed to close the distance and land powerful body shots on Davis, making it a grueling contest. As the fight wore on, it became clear that Cruz's relentless pressure was taking its toll on Davis. The fight went the distance, and although Davis didn't secure a knockout, he earned a hard-fought unanimous decision victory. Cruz had given him one of the toughest tests of his career, but Davis showed his ability to adapt under pressure and fight through adversity to retain his lightweight title. If you're pumped by these electrifying highlights from Gervonta Davis' career, don't miss out. Click on the screen to jump into the next video.